Welcome to my 2024 Hobonichi unboxing. Yay! So excited. The box arrived yesterday and it took everything within my willpower to wait until the next day to open it up. So we are going to open it up together and I can't wait. So the entire order came in this box. And I do also want to preface by saying that this is my second year of using Hobonichi, but my first year of really taking a look at different accessories and picking a couple of covers, and it is a little bit of a bigger order, and I anticipate in future years my orders will get lower, but I think it was just my first year ordering directly from Hobonichi and I was very excited. So yeah, I don't want to encourage overconsumption, but I did want to treat myself a little given that this is my first year. So that's my little disclaimer. So this is the box that it came in. There's a little bit of and I'm gonna take everything out of the box and then we'll go through each thing. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, oh, I think this is one of the bonus items. So I got the blue little gift bag. It's very, very cute. This is the Twinkle Tweed cover. This is my, I guess it's gonna be my grown-up cover if I'm leaving the house and I am meeting with clients. This is the cover that I'll be taking with me. So this one was definitely the most expensive thing that I purchased. I don't intend to buy the more expensive covers every year. I mean, I hope if anything, the ones that I picked this year will suffice for the next few years, but who knows what Hobonichi will come out with next year. The theme of my choices this year were things that brought me joy and made me smile because I use these things on a daily basis, and then things that were a little bit more professional but still beautiful. And so this is sort of on the second side of that theme because I am in the middle of a career change, and if all goes well, I will start to see clients, and I just wanted something that was beautiful and professional. So that's the purpose that this will be serving. Okay, so it comes with a little dust bag, which is nice. This is the inside, the two bookmarks. Comes with a card about the designer. A little care booklet, which is nice. That's what it looks like. I'm really excited to see how this looks in my Hobonichi. So that's the first thing. Okay, the next thing, I'll just move this out of the way. This is a Monday Start English edition. The second thing I got was the A6 original, and this is Japanese. I didn't really want to wait until the English version of the A6 came out because I didn't want to encourage myself to make a second order. I did think about waiting until I could get one locally, but I just figured I would get everything in one go and spend the shipping that one time and, you know, use the Japanese for 2024. And if I really felt compelled to switch to the English, then I'll do that next year. This is where my disclaimer on consumerism kind of comes out. I recognize that this is a lot for one person, and I did really take a pause and ask myself if I felt that I would be able to use these things. I've tentatively earmarked each of these things for different purposes based on my usage of this year. So this one is Another Night of Falling Star Sparklers. This one is the Love It Panda Yellow Plaid. And this one is the Tomitaro Makino Shihai Sumair. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Here is the Tomitaro Makino Weeks. I'll be honest, originally I was thinking about getting the Hon in the A6 or the A5. I was undecided. But when I saw that this ended here, I don't know, it drove me a little crazy, and I didn't think I'd mind it so much for the weeks because this isn't as pronounced, but in the other books it was just a bit longer, and I don't know, there was something about it that just was bugging me. And so anyway, I didn't end up going for that. I went with just the regular books, which I'm okay with. My thought for this one is that I will use this as health tracker or a gardening kind of tracker. So I might use this as like a subject notebook where I learn a little bit more about the things that we're growing in our garden, and I can also do some planning for 2024 because this will be our 4th summer with our little patio garden, and each year our garden has been getting better and better, which is awesome. But it's been very much like, oh, it's time to plant things. Let's just do what we can and try our best. And so I'd really like to be more intentional with it, and I would just like to learn a little more about the flowers that we're growing and the plants that we're growing, and kind of record things like how much sun we're getting in certain corners of our patio and how certain things are growing. Like, for example, this year our eggplants grew very well, but our tomatoes didn't. So that's the plan for this book. Something about this one just stood out to me and made me so happy. And I just knew that I wanted to use this book, and I knew that I would be okay to look at this every day for the next year. And so my thought with this one is grocery and meal planning, because that is something that I don't really enjoy doing, but it has made such a difference in how our home sort of runs more efficiently. And I've basically been doing it consistently since January of 2023, and I have been using a week's this year to plan ahead and just keep track of how much we're spending on food, because the idea is that we eat better and we're also spending less. And so because it's not really a task that I love, but I've seen the benefits of and I have committed to it, I thought it'd be really nice to continue that planning with a cover that makes me smile every time I see it. So that is the thought for this one. I am going to be treating these weeks as subject books, essentially. So they'll have a specific purpose, and then I'll be able to track these things over the year. So I'm really excited to be using these books for that. One of the things that I'm toying with is using this as a planner for our home projects, because I have a lot of rooms that I want to decorate and make over. And then I also have a lot of small tasks around the house, like decluttering and organizing and maintenance. So I'm contemplating making this like a home book where I sort of store and plan all the projects that I want to do, because I had been previously doing that in a Notion template, but I'm just finding that I dump all my thoughts on something like Notion, and then it's like it leaves my brain and I forget it exists. And so that's actually kind of the whole reason why I've gone so all in on these analog approaches. And so anyway, that's my tentative plan, is to use this as like a home subject notebook. But I still have a few months to really decide. I think the only one that I'm not 100% sure about is the gardening one, just because in Canada where I live, there's only so many months out of the year that you can really do gardening. And so whether it makes sense to dedicate an entire yearly book on it is the part I'm a little unsure of. And so maybe it'll be something like week meal planning, and grocery shopping, and favorite recipes, that kind of thing. And then maybe this one will be like a health tracker, because I think that's a little more important for me to be tracking, but we'll see. And then possibly like a home plan type of book. So that's the plan for these three. And then the plan for these is I've been using the Cousin, and I really do enjoy it, but it does feel like something that I may not need beyond 2024, because if all goes well, I'll be finished my my schooling that I'm in, and I won't need as much room, because for now I'm finding that having that weekly layout has been so helpful for me to balance all the different things that are going on in my life. And moving forward to 2024, I'll also be starting a practicum component of my program. So I foresee myself needing to take a lot of notes and needing that sort of weekly layout. So I'm going to continue this for 2024, but I see myself potentially phasing out of it after next year is done. And my hope is that eventually I can move towards a smaller form like this A6. And so I did invest in 2 covers. I was trying to use logic to really pick just one cover, because obviously this cover was quite an investment, and I didn't buy it with the intention of just getting a new one next year. I really wanted to pick something that I could see myself using indefinitely. But there was another cover that really just tore at my heartstrings, and I kept wanting to leave it behind, and then I just couldn't. So that one is the companion. That one is the companion to this book. I don't know. I don't think this cover was particularly popular, like the little gifts, but something about it just brought me so much joy. And I thought, my thought for next year anyway, just to finish that, is I'm gonna try using this A6 as a memory keeper, and an experimental, like, do I think this size would work for me if I'm not taking copious amounts of notes like I have been this year. And so that's where the 2 covers come in that I could see down the road this would be sort of like a personal memory keeping kind of situation, or if I'm out and seeing clients, maybe this is what I would be using if I wanted to be a bit more professional. So I know I didn't need 2 covers, but I think I'm gonna make use of this, and I don't think that I'm going to, I can't know how I'm gonna be next year, but I don't intend on buying new covers every year. So famous last words, I know, but that's the plan for now. And I love pandas. And I also did buy this little weekly supplement book because I love the weekly layout. I didn't think, I don't know that I'll ever be able to quit the Cousin because of it, but I think there's a part of me that wants to because it is such a big book. I have heard that these aren't really a good replacement because it's so small. But I have very small writing, and I think I'm just going to give it a try. And I know that I'll be taking a lot of notes and I'll have a lot of things to remember while I'm doing practicum and school next year, and potentially other client work for my, my other work that I do. So I think the Cousin is going to be necessary for 2024, but I am going to be experimenting with this size to see if I could use it. And I'm also going to use it this year as a memory keeper because I've been sort of doing a lot more like sketching and things like that on blank pages on the Cousin, and I would like to have a space to continue doing that. So I think that's what this is going to be for. So I know it's a lot. I had to do a whole board and sort of really think through my decisions. I went back and forth. I really had to ask myself whether I was just trying to find uses for these things or whether I actually really did need these things. The truth is, I probably could condense things down, but at the same time, I do really need to have clear separations between sort of my work life and my personal life. I just know that putting everything in one book is not going to work for me, and it's not healthy for me because I'm someone who struggles with setting boundaries. And so I feel really good about my decision. I didn't buy a cover for the Cousin because my intention is that I'm just going to continue using this cover that I purchased this year for it. So yeah, I'm glad I got to stop myself from going crazy and buying covers for everything. So yeah, I am going to continue using this. And I also have a couple of A6 notebooks that I might use these covers for as well. So I think I'm going to probably use either this one or this one for my A6 memory keeping. And if I need to, I will swap these covers and use this for another A6 notebook that I have as well, because I am someone who takes a lot of notes and I'm always constantly using up notebooks, so I don't really have a concern that that I won't be able to use these things. So okay, so that's the sort of the books and the covers. I'm gonna move those out of the way. And then I got a couple of, maybe more than a couple. I got a few accessories. And again, I tried really hard to not go too crazy, but I did get some fun things. So first of all, this is the other freebie. Oh, and I got the pretzel. This little stencil here. This one just seemed like one that I would be most likely to use, so I picked that one up. I love how small that is. I also got these A6 sized little gifts folders. I know the little gifts Yumi Kitagishi was really popular this year, and during the previews I did really like it. The reason why I didn't end up going for it was because I felt unsure that I was going to be able to use this cover for an entire year. And it also kind of felt like something that I could see myself maybe not wanting to reuse year after year. So I ended up picking the folders because I love the story behind it. I love the fact that there's so much to look at. I love the maximalist design. And I think the folders, I'm currently storing a lot of my stickers in like these like plastic things that came with the actually came with the stickers. These are transfer stickers. So my plan is basically just to, you know, organize these a little and move them into these folders. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think they're really cute, and I think it's a good way to enjoy the little gifts in a realistic way for me. I'm happy that I was able to get these folders. The other things that I got this pencil board. I already had the weeks version, so I kind of just completed the set. This one's probably my least favorite, but since I'm already in the cousin, I did need a cousin-sized pencil board, so I did decide to invest in that because I didn't end up getting the like the Hone version of the book. So I did get a few of these pens, which I look forward to using. Very cute. I like the color scheme this year. Then, slightly boring, but I guess necessary, I got a couple of cover-on covers. They were pretty affordable, and I just figured rather than deciding down the road I needed them, I'd rather just throw them in the order now while I'm getting free shipping. And I think I'll use this one on the panda, but I think I'm gonna leave the Twinkle Tweed alone. Hopefully I don't regret that. And then I got a couple for the covers of the weeks. I don't know if I need it for all of them, but they're all kind of, I think I will. So anyway, we'll try those out later. And then the last things that I got, this was my sort of fun, like frivolous, I mean, I guess all of this is fun, but I got a bunch of these Deco Rush stickers because, again, I really didn't want to, like, I liked a lot of the covers this year, but I didn't want to buy all of them because I couldn't possibly use them all and enjoy them to the fullest extent if I had that many. And so I do like the fact that I can kind of enjoy some of the designs, but in realistic ways that I could see myself using. Like, I know that I will use these in my planners because I love decorating them when I have time. And that's the key, is whatever I can do without taking too much time is ideal for me. I got the Little Gifts one version because I do really love it. Again, I just didn't think I was going to be able to use the cover for a full year. I got the pandas because I just love these little panda illustrations so much. They're so cute. I kind of wanted like the entire line, but I really had to be you know, realistic about what I could afford and also what I was really going to use. I got these adorable cats because I just, their little faces, I don't know if you can see this, hopefully. They just have these really funny faces, and so I'm kind of excited to play with these. And I got this really fun like snack and confectionery one, just because I love food drawing so much. So I'm excited to use these. So that is my haul. It was, again, I admit it was kind of a lot, but I am so excited to dig into these things and to use them next year. And yeah, I came from a bullet journaling background, which I'm realizing a lot of people that I follow have as well. And as wonderful as it is to have the freedom to create whatever spread you want to, I'm just in this stage in my life where I don't have that kind of time. And so to have this sort of kind of printed out, thoughtful layout on paper that just feels absolutely lovely to work with has brought this unexpected amount of joy into the work that I've done. And it's been a really stressful year, a really busy year, and just having these moments of being able to stay away from the computer, open up my books, and just feel like I can really focus on a single task at hand has done wonders for my mental health. And so if it means that I spend a little more money on making kind of mundane or just daily life a little more pleasurable, I don't mind. I mean, I don't want to go crazy, and I do want to be thoughtful and intentional about my choices, which I really have tried to be. If you watch this and you didn't mind my rambling, thank you so much for joining me on my little unboxing. As I said, this is kind of a once in a year kind of thing, so I'm just really grateful that I was able to discover this brand. I guess I'm a little bit of a, I'm relatively new to it, but discover it and be able to learn that I like it and use these things for next year. I think I'm going to stop talking now. And yeah, I'm gonna end this, but thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.